Guys doing? Hope all is well with you. Yes, we have to be a very tight hour. Let me just take out my gum because it is rude to have gum when you are speaking to everyone. How are you? Hope everyone is well. We are going to have to make this a quick and tight hour. My dad's birthday is today. Happy birthday, Father. Happy birthday, Dad. I forever bless you for giving me the hairline that appears before you today. So, and also give me love, give me guidance, give me the generational wealth that so many covet, and I am so pleasing of you, Dad. So thank you very much. And we are back and we are live. We are here at Talk Live. Thank you very much for joining me. We're going to get through this right and quick. Yes, Kevin Samuels. Yes, the Godfather himself, the Black Manosphere leader, who has passed away just last year. R.I.P. Godfather, as always. He was a man amongst men, and to whom we give the honor and the glory at always and forever. Yes, indeed. So with that, blessing, we begin this show. So we are blessed to have. We were blessed to have. Oh, it's sponsored by Duntalk. Let's say that. DUNTALK.com. Fall winter line out now. Yes, this is part of the fall winter line that we have right here, and it looks great. So I said, you know what? I'm using it tonight. I'm getting it in tonight. Yes, indeed. So yes, sponsored by Duntalk, DUNTALK.com, and it is much appreciated that you join me tonight on this early Talk Live. We're going to try this out, but I have to do this for reasons of my father's birthday. So again, we're going to get right into it. Critics and detractors of Kevin Samuels. There were many, especially of the female variety. They did not exactly like his brash tone with the ladies. Of course, tone is always the way. It has always been the way with the ladies. You know what? You can say 1 + 1 is 2, but if you say 1 + F and 1 is 2, it's a problem because tone gets in the way of hearing the message, even though the message is quite loud and quite clear. So we're going to get into some of the critics of Kevin Samuels and where they are in terms of their stances then and now. So we're going to get right into it right away. We are not going to waste any time because we have to get through this right to sweet and quick. So the first thing we're going to get into is, of course, the one show that brought all, a legion of criticism to him. He was already on his way to stardom, but it was this video, the average at best video, that is indeed Kevin Samuels' claim to fame. It is the one. It is the one video that everybody claims as the one that sets him into stardom on YouTube, superstardom, really, in the black community, and is now made him a pseudo martyr among especially black men and those who love traditional relationships. So thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live, sponsored by Duntalk, DUNTALK.com. Like and subscribe. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers, and fall winter line out now here at Duntalk, DUNTALK.com. So we're going to get into this piece of the video for Kevin Samuels. It's going to be 10 minutes. We're going to stop it intermittently, and this is going to bring forth the basic tenets of the Godfather himself. And you know what? He pulls no punches with this lady. Again, this is the young lady, the 35-year-old lady who had called into the show, disregarding the platform, and said she wants to know how to capture a high-value man, or if she has a chance of capturing a high-value man, and she would not call back on another night. She insisted that she be given her just due. And Kevin said, you know what? You're going to get it straight, no chaser. So he was, I wouldn't say extremely, he was blunt in his estimation of him, although patient, but patient and blunt. But here we are again, and we're just going to get into it right now. Thank you very much for joining me to Talk Live. Let's go. It's about 9 minutes in, so we're just going to go with it. And we're going to show the reasons why Kevin Samuels was criticized for his his critique and his estimation of the attitude and the basic life setting this woman brought to his attention. Let's go.
Battery 70%.
Children?
Yes.
How many?
I have a son now, so.
How old is your son?
He's 13.
Where's the father?
He's not in his life.
I
Well,
didn't ask that. I said, where's the father?
well, he's not like in it like I would like him to be.
All right.
So let's do a quick summation here. She's 35 years old. She's a business owner. She earns about $100,000 a year. She has a 13-year-old son. And she has basically, and she is not in conversation or does not have a relationship with her child's father simply because he doesn't earn enough. He's not good enough for her. So she has severed her ties with him, and she is looking for a high-value man to which she can call her own. So that's where the stage we are at now. And that's the reason why she disturbed Kevin Samuels, because she wanted to know her chances of getting said man. Let's go.
All right. So let me go ahead and take this down. Ma'am, men who make the kind of money you're talking about have options. And typically they don't want to deal with women who have 13-year-old sons, who are used to dating men. This doesn't sound appealing to the kind of man you're talking about. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I was thinking once I start booking session with you that
I can't change men.
Oh.
I know, but I can approve myself, and I feel like I have a lot to offer to those type of men.
Oh, okay.
So therefore, she thought that she could call on Kevin Samuels. He'd give her the cheat code towards these men, and therefore she could procure said gentleman. But Kevin, as inimitable and as straightforward and as eloquent as he always was one to set her straight and level set her. So he did it in this way. Let's go.
But see, you should have stopped right there. I just told you I cannot change men. And you said, once I book a session with you, I'm not a miracle worker. I'm telling you what they want. And you're still saying, yeah, but I want them. They don't want you.
But I have been working on myself this year and booking yours.
Wouldn't take no for an answer.
But okay, 35, 13-year-old son with a sketchy father. Why would a man who's in the top 10% of earners who will...
Well, I wouldn't say sketchy father. I would say ostracized father. But again, that's we haven't heard the other side of the story. But again, we'll keep it as sketchy. Let's go.
Across the country want that?
Because I have a lot to offer. I feel like...
Would you want your son to... If you had a son making that kind of money, would you want him to bring home a woman who had a 13-year-old son from a sketchy father? Or would you prefer him to get a woman who had no children, who's younger, and easier to get on his program?
Depending on his age.
See what I mean? See what I mean? This goes so deep for black women. They will even... should have been an easy question. No, I would not want my son to bring... I want the best for my son. That should have been the appropriate answer. That's why I sat up. That is indeed, Kevin has every right to say that, because black women think they're special snowflakes and that their misgivings and their misdeeds and their prior decisions can be wiped away just simply because they are themselves. They are tens. They are superstars that need to be plucked at a moment's notice. That they can't be criticized, they can't be critiqued, same verse. They can't be told that they themselves and the choices that they've made have limited them in the dating market. Simple as that. They can't do it. It can't be done. Because black women can overcome everything. Anything, everything. They are Wonder Women. That child that they have is not a bill anymore. He is an asset to the man to whom who never had a child. This high-value man. You shouldn't consider him as a bill. You should consider him as an asset. If you can sell that to a high-value man, I have a piece of land in Antarctica to sell to you. Let's continue. It's bullshit. You should want the best for your son.
Of course.
But
And are you thinking, like,
If he brought home a
Then-
woman, yes, I feel like I'm the exception to the rule. But
Exception to the rule, like I
that's the
said,
problem.
special
You all
snowflake.
think you're the exception to the rule, but your life is proven to you that you're not.
my love life is not that good. I agree with you.
That's my point, and ma'am, and that's my point.
Her love life is terrible, but yet she's still a special snowflake. She's contradicting herself off rip, and yet we're supposed to take this as gospel and move forward with said individual. Okay. Again, that plot of land in Antarctica is waiting for you. Let's go.
You ladies all feel like, listen, you ladies all feel like you're the exception to the rule. And then when someone like myself comes along and gives you a dose of reality, instead of just
AKA the cleanup crew.
Yeah, but I'm special. You don't know any men on this level that are not your father, that aren't related to you. That means you don't know these men. You don't know where to go get them. You don't know what they want. But you're still saying, pick me. They don't want mid-30-year-old baby mamas. I'm trying to be...
He's trying to be nice indeed, and the fact of the matter is, if you've never been in these gentlemen's environs, if you don't know how they move, if you don't know what they like, which is fit, feminine, friendly, cooperative, submissive, if you do not, women, I'm speaking about black, white, Chinese, Latina, all around the world, if you have not been able to procure a gentleman such as yourself, you are, the chances are slim, and I mean very slim, and I mean under 5% to 0, I'll even say it, 1% to 0, that you can be able to procure such a gentleman. It's like finding a needle in a haystack. But, again, it's all about the stars, it's all about it's all about, you know, I'm a special snowflake, it's all about it's all about, you know, all these different machinations and imaginations and manifestations that'll bring these men to you. And you're asking Kevin, same Kevin, to be that guardian angel to bring that high value man to your side. Sorry, ladies. To a lot of you ladies, it's not going to happen. As he said on Fresh and Fit on a previous broadcast, top 10% will get one of these men. The rest of you ladies, you need to level set. You need to get real. Let's go.
Be polite, man, but they don't want those.
Can I ask you a question?
Did you hear what I said?
Yes.
Why is that so? Okay, go ahead.
Why is it so little?
Go ahead.
From my point of view, I feel like I get what you're saying.
Fair use, guys. Fair use.
But also, those better options are younger girls. Those younger girls don't necessarily 20-year-olds are not necessarily attracted to 45-year-olds.
Bullshit. I'm 51 and I can't beat them off with a stick. That's another one you lies. No, younger women are attracted to older men. What are you talking about?
So can you see?
Believe me, that's the truth. Continue.
You mean?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So do you feel like a woman like me?
Uh-huh. What would you rank
Still
yourself
doesn't
on
believe
a
it.
scale from 1 to 10? You cannot use 7.
Would I rate myself?
Kevin Samuel's signature.
My face when I wake up 5, but when I put myself together 6.
Okay. And how tall are you?
5'5".
Dress size.
I'm sorry?
Your dress size.
A 3.
Okay. So that makes you, if you give yourself a 5, that's average.
Yes.
The average.
So average looking women tend not to get high earning men. They tend to get average men.
So,
Did you, I mean, stop right there. Stop right there. Stop right there. Breathe and digest.
no.
You're 35 years old and you can look around and see the world. You don't tend to see higher earning men with average looking women.
And believe me,
He was being nice. Ken was being nice to this woman. You should have seen the comments that day. Average was being kind. Continue.
Off rip. If you do see them, they got their average looking woman when they were both really young and he built his way up. But a man earning the kind of money you're talking about does not go for an average looking woman.
I mean, my body is not average, so.
But ma'am, you please don't make me say it.
Again, be nice.
I really just wanted some advice. I love your.
I'm giving you advice, but you're not taking it. The advice is, ma'am, you're average looking at best.
The famous lines. You're average looking at best. Ladies, let me say this. Okay? Most of you women are average looking women. That's not a slight. That's not a diss. Most of us men are average looking. 80% of us women will never see because we are average. There are above average looking people on both sides. On both sides. Yes, I'm channeling Trump here. The fact of the matter is, because you have sexual access, ladies, you think you have all access to these men. And the fact of the matter is, it's not the same. It's never the same. Unless you were on the climb with this gentleman, you will never have access to this gentleman, especially when he gets his money. Average looking women, once in a blue moon, you'll get a Bill Gates, but that's a rarity. For the most of you, you're going to have to work. You're going to have to find a man who matches your looks and get on with life. That's what he's telling this woman. Because she thinks that she earns $100,000, that means that she has entree to a Boris Kojo, entree to a Michael Ealy, entree to a Idris Elba. That is not the case. That's never been the case. Straight facts. Money never comes. Yeah, there you go. With men, Chanel, thank you very much for your comment. Money never comes into play ever. Not with us guys. The Holy Trinity. Youth, beauty, fertility. Oh, we mean with you, Chanel. Okay, but you're a different lady. Believe me. Money comes into play for most women. You know what comes into play for most women? A man must be able to protect and provide. That's the minimum too. And if you can't provide, you better be able to protect. And if you can't protect, you better be able to provide. If you don't have, and if you have both of them, the world's your oyster. Let's continue.
I'm taking it in, but
okay, but you're not accepting the fact that average looking women, average looking woman who's older, average looking older woman with a 13-year-old son, average looking woman with a 13-year-old son with a sketchy baby daddy. This gets worse every time I say something. And now you're asking for a man who's in the top 10% of men. You don't qualify for one. And you're making, I don't want to have to go there, but when you put in all these other factors, why can't you just get a man that's an average guy?
Before she answers that question, I just want to analogize, to put this into an analogy. Ladies, it's like buying $1 million home with $500 down. Ladies, it's like buying a supercar, a Bugatti, with $1. Unless somebody gives, it's basically a very slim chance that you win the lottery for these things, or none, that you will get these things. Same thing with high value men. If you do not have a history of high value men being in your DMs and you being invited to VIPs and you having a history of boyfriends of said ilk, chances are you won't get these men. They won't. You will not. And Kevin even adds on to say, if you have a child, If you're 35, if you average looks, chances of you getting this gentleman are pretty much 0.000001%. It's like finding a needle in a haystack. It won't happen. Unless you're very, very, very lucky, or you can find a man on the come up. But this woman feels and deems that average men are beneath her, which most women do these days. They think average men are beneath her, and the top 20% are at access to all women. Sorry, ladies. That dream is not a reality for most of you. Just how you eliminate us, 80% of us, on looks alone, unable to provide alone, high value men will eliminate you, 80%, based on your looks. There it is. Because they have choice. And what they're going to do, they're going to choose the best. Not the worst, the best. Because they've worked hard enough to get that opportunity. They worked hard enough to get into the candy store. And guess what? They're going to get the best candy. Not the worst, the best. So if you have any slights against you, guess what? You might as well walk out the door. Yes. If you're a high-value woman, but you know what a high-value woman is, Chanel? Thank you very much for the comment. She must be fit, she must be friendly, she must be feminine, cooperative, submissive. Does that cost any money? Very little. To be a high-value man, it costs a lot more, believe me. So, let's continue.
Like, in order to fully submit, I have to feel like he's in.
Well, then you're gonna die alone. How about that? Let me just cut to the chase, man. You can feel like what you want to, but women like you die alone, straight up, because you think you're better than the men that you qualify for. And the only reason, honestly, ma'am, that I can see a woman like yourself really thinking you deserve more is because you earn more money than most people around you in North Carolina. But if your ass worked at the post office, you would not think so highly of your opportunities.
Remember, this woman's from North Carolina. Let me stop it right there.
And
This woman is from North Carolina. Imagine she went to a big city like New York, like LA, like Chicago, like Miami, especially Miami. If she went to a world center like London, Paris, Tokyo, Berlin, she'd find out very, very quickly where she is on the totem pole out there.
Men don't care about your money. Not the kind of men that you want. We don't care about your money. It ain't ours. We care about the fact that you are older and you got a kid. And you're average. And your reality of your life has showed you that. You don't have the kind of men that you want knocking on your door trying to find you.
Just said it. See, here's the thing that a lot of women don't get. Your life would be very different, extremely different, if you're a high-value woman. Extremely. You'd be taking out the best restaurants. You'd have VIP service. You'd have high-value men vetting you at every beck and call. They'd be flying you in and out of state and of country with frequency. Your life would be extremely different if that were the case. Because high-value men can recognize high-value women. Simple as that. But she is not one. She is not used to it. She thinks her money can get her entree to be a high-value woman. That's not the case. High-value women, to us men, to you women, it's a totally different story, but to us men, you're adjudicators, you're assessors for the most part. I know if you go a different way or are on a different vibe, I understand that. Okay? But to us, those are the rules. You want to play within them? Fine. But if you don't, you got to suffer the consequences.
See, what we've done in this country, this world, is we've told women like yourself that you can have it all, and you got a Prince Charming who's 6 foot, 6 feet tall, 6-figure income, jawline, all this other kind of stuff. And I'm sorry, man. No. Most people get average people, especially average.
You'll find
people.
that out later. I'm going to reveal it later.
You're an
Watch.
average
Listen.
person.
Remember that. Remember that last
Let's
statement.
be real. You're not running Microsoft. You got a pet grooming business. You've been making 6 figures for the last 3 years. Okay. But if I'm looking at you, if I looked at you and I took all that off of you, all the eyelashes and all the hair, what do you look like under there?
Worse. Way worse.
I mean, I look the same. I'm just.
No, you don't. No, you
If
wouldn't.
you did, you wouldn't have all that on.
No, you wouldn't.
I'm sorry.
No, you don't. You don't look the same.
Makeup is sorcery, ladies. Let me say that for you once and for all. Makeup is sorcery. You can make yourself a point higher by the way you apply makeup. It's sorcery. It's literal sorcery. You do it right, you can have a man for the night. Long term, that fades away because we'll find out the real you. But there you go. There you go. Totally agree. Every day you need to evaluate. Yeah, we need to evaluate. Absolutely. That's what men do. That's what high value men do. They evaluate. Why are you stupid? Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes we act simpish and we're gullible that way. But to most men who had their eyes opened by the red pill, that's what red pill is all about. They assess women. They are consistent assessors of women, and we can see through lies. We can see through things, and we have built in checks and balances so that men don't get played.
Because if you did, you wouldn't have all that on.
So, what is your advice for women that?
All right, I'll tell you my advice, man, because you're not listening. This is why I always recommend you need therapy. People think most of us in the black community need therapy, but you're not dealing with reality. I asked you about your child's father, and you couldn't answer me. But it doesn't sound like you're too proud of him. What kind of student is your child?
Before we go into that, because then he'll get into a little space, so we're going to stop it right there. But as Kevin Samuels said, women need 4 things. Therapy, number 1, because a lot of women are delusional, and they need to get out of the mindset of that delusion to level set them and be well enough to find a man who suits them financially, spiritually, personality-based, all these things. So that's number 1. Number 2, femininity coach, because there's a lot of masculine women out there, and you can see it. There are certain traits, there are certain mannerisms, there are certain personalities, there are certain signs of masculinity that men can usually pick up. And AKA, give an example, tattoos. Especially arm tattoos. That's not, just saying. You could be feminine with an arm tattoo, let me say this, but chances are men will, as we said, first impressions last forever. So that's another thing. Number 3, you need a femininity coach. I said femininity coach. I said therapist. I said matchmaker. A viable matchmaker who can take your looks and find men who are suitable for you, not give you a Prince Charming at the end of the day if you don't deserve it. And number 4, an image consultant. So that you look good in your pictures so that said gentleman can find you. But at the end of the day, men are looks-based. We're very aesthetic.
Those are the additives. But the first thing, the most important thing is therapy, because a lot of you have lived a delusional lifestyle and you need to get out of that headspace. So let's move on quickly. Move on quickly, because we don't have a lot of time here. So we're going to get a little caption here, quite simply, from, yes, my man Chisa Zed. Subscribe to Chisa Zed, doing wonderful things in these YouTube streets. And we're going to get into this video that features one of Kevin Samuels' biggest critics, Rebecca Lynn Pope. Yes, Rebecca Lynn Pope is she was a dating coach for a while. And she got out of the dating game. She got out of the dating coach game. Why? Because at first she railed against Kevin Samuels for his views. But then in dealing with women, especially high-value women, as the one we saw there in the Average of Best video, she came to realize that what he said was, wait for it, but let's get into her criticism of that Average of Best video as we've seen throughout. Thank you very much for joining me on Talk Talk Live. Like, subscribe, comment. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Let's go here with this, well, at first criticism of the Godfather himself.
This young girl who just had somebody speak to her in such a way that was so belittling and so degrading that if this was my daughter, if this was my child, if this was my niece, if this was somebody I loved, and I don't know who she is, but my heart. Now, am I saying that there aren't women who have unrealistic expectations? No, you guys know I've done videos.
Remember what I said about weaponizing tears? She just weaponized them. It's another, it helps humble men, helps them listen to what they have to say. Weaponizing tears. She just wiped them away. She's right on to the next. Let's go. Oops, sorry.
I've done videos. There's women who have ridiculous expectations. But do we have to talk to them that way? No.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen. As we first referred to at Talk Talk Live just earlier on tonight. Thank you very much for joining me. Sponsored by Duntalk, DUNTALK.com. It's not what is being said, it's how you say it. Always with women. You can tell them 1 and 1 is 2, but if you tell them 1 is 1 plus effing 1 is 2, something's wrong with that. They won't listen to the answer. They won't listen to the message. If you raise your voice, they shut down. They break down. Because they don't understand the brusque nature of men. So what do women do? For the most part, even though what you say is true, they shut down simply because you raised your voice. You weren't soft enough. You didn't deliver the message in the right way for women. But as you will soon see, men and women dictate their messages differently. And women need to realize that. They don't need to get in their feelings when men do. Because we mean the best for you. Because if we didn't care, we wouldn't say anything at all. Remember that.
And just like there's women who have ridiculous expectations, there's also women who don't have ridiculous expectations. There are women doing their work. There are women building a great life for themselves. There's women doing their healing work. There's women who are working on their life, who are phenomenal women, well-balanced women, who are literally ready for healthy relationships and out here looking for a great guy, right? A great guy.
I want to say this also. I am taking this video a lot more seriously than I did the Kendra G video because I have respect for the fact that Rebecca Lynn Pope is married. For anybody who is in a marriage, you don't have to be married to drink coffee, but anybody who's in a marriage, I know it's not easy. It's not easy. It's not easy to be in a relationship. You guys know, as someone who is engaged myself, it's not easy to maintain a relationship. It's not easy for men or women, but especially for women today who have been drinking tea, right? Drinking that Kool-Aid and have to undo the female empowerment brainwashing that they've gone through. Obviously, she's claimed she's done the work. She is married. Congratulations to her. That takes work. Work is respect. But let's keep listening.
To be in a relationship with. So it's not either or.
true what he said. She's married. You got to give her a bit of credence.
It's
Yes.
all of the above. There's everything out here. So when you go in and you do a video, here's what's happening with social media. With social media, it's like it's overgeneralizing everything. Everything. It's like all women are like this, or all men are like this, and that's not true. I'm talking about the effect that this stuff has on everyday people who are literally watching this stuff and consuming this stuff, and then saying and internalizing and saying, I'm destined to be alone. There's no way I'm ever going to be able to be in a relationship. I'm 40 plus, right? Healthy, well-balanced, strong, happy men do not feel the need to degrade women, do not feel the need to talk down to women, do not feel the happy, strong, well-balanced men do not talk to women like this.
Okay, so
Listen for
there's
this.
a lot
Listen
to
for
say
this.
there, and you guys saw the jump cuts. Those were the parts that I wanted to personally address and got the gist of the majority.
She says something critical here, what I just referred to earlier.
Not all women. Well, we know it's not all women, but could it be most?
True.
Could it be most women? And she
Fair
actually
use, fair
admits
use, fair use.
that most women are like this later on in another video, but more on that later. And then she talks about healthy men don't go out here talking bad on women. We haven't been in an era where men have been given this much access to be honest about what they think about relationships and have the power to build their own platforms without getting canceled for that long. And men are being honest about what they want and what they don't want. Women have been doing this, and not only have they been talking down on men for a long time, painting men as the villains, but they still do it today. I mean, if she's saying that, these are my disagreements, right? If she's saying that healthy men don't talk down on women they disagree with and behaviors they disagree with, then should we also assume that majority of women who are out here doing the same thing today all over TikTok are also not good women? It is more of a trend to see women trashing men on social media than it is to see men. Men are just more efficient at building audiences and brands, etc., that actually pick up because men are great. No, but really, man, like, who's out here talking the most shit on platforms, bringing down people? It's easy to cry when you see a man finally tell a woman the truth, that her sexual market value, her value on the dating market is average, not her personal value, not her personal worth. God loves her. I'm sure her parents love her and family. Those two things should not be confused, and they can both be true at the same time. But I know it's difficult. It's difficult to see a woman being held accountable. And no one likes to drink coffee, man. Not even myself. No one likes to be accountable. No one enjoys admitting that they're wrong. But in this context, we can't act like Kevin Samuels or anybody else who does similar content is a monster for forcing a woman to drink coffee, who came on his platform when men have been drinking coffee for a very, very long time. Let's see, listen.
It's how you tell people. It's how you talk to them. It's how you bring correction. It's how.
Here's the thing, ladies. And right. We're gonna get down to brass tacks here, because I want to do it in a tone that you can understand and listen to and learn. So we're gonna be very soft, but we're gonna be very direct. Okay? Here's the thing. Men are very straightforward, very direct. Sometimes we can be considered abrasive. But at the end of the day, it is that abrasion, it is that directness, it is that assuredness in speech that gets results. Now, for us to dumb down our tone for your benefit, then, as Chisa would say, it would not be men. We would not be men that way. We would just be like you women. And I don't believe you want to date a woman. You want to date a man. So these are the differences that you'll have to live with. Very, very much so. They'll have to live with that. But, because sometimes you just have to get to the point and get things done. As has been said on the now banned Fresh and Fit, sometimes you want to bring a woman to safety. Sometimes you have to throw her in the car. Sometimes you have to shout at her to say, get out of here. Sometimes you have to be direct, abrupt, and abrasive to get things done. Men understand this. Women don't, because they're delicate flowers and they need to be spoken to a certain way. But it is indeed for your own good that we do this. And just as we had to tolerate you, and especially your flights of fancy, especially in your emotive moods, you have to deal with a man who tells it like it is. And that's what Kevin did. A lot of women didn't like that because he's telling the truth, number one. And number two, he did it in a way to which they couldn't understand. This isn't Steve Harvey here. This isn't Derek Jackson here, where you're going to get that sugar and spice and everything nice. No. You're dealing with a man. Sometimes you need to be upfront, direct, straightforward, and blunt. And if it comes off as abrasive, so be it. But at the end of the day, it is for your own benefit. You need to take that home with you, ladies. Take that home with you.
It's not always what you say, it's how you say it. Guess what? Your average good guy that wants to just a good woman to love, he is not sitting on social media bashing people. He don't have time for it. He too busy living his life.
Remember, she is into this for the last. I wouldn't let this long play. I would say at least I would have said this at least gone 10 minutes about tone. 10 minutes about tone. This could have been done much quicker. Again, a man would have done this much quicker.
Working hard, taking care of his responsibility. And so often what's happening on social media is that because everybody runs to all the sensational, dramatic, because everyone's now, it is literally all about sensationalism.
All right, so as you guys have probably picked up, she sort of has the same stance that a lot of women who do drink coffee have when it comes to someone like Kevin Samuels. And he had his own method of getting this information across. And he was very effective. And he was very effective, obviously so, because here we are, right? Rest in peace. And people are still talking about what he did and the impact he had on helping people realize the problem, specifically within the Black community. But from what I hear, her disagreement's the same thing as a lot of other women out here who have platforms. It's the way you say it. It's the way you share the message. Just be more kind. Just be more loving, and people will
watch his answer. It's quite good.
The love and kindness approach, being the best approach, it's not what always results in changed behavior.
That's right.
It's the problem with living in a female-focused society is when you're using the measure of what is the most effective way to accomplish a goal, even when it comes to social issues like relationships and love. When the measurement of the correct way to express yourself as a human being has to be as closely aligned to the female perspective as possible, then men will always fall short. What do I mean? If the person who says it the most kindness in the most loving way possible is the right messenger for people,
Derek Jackson, Steve Harvey,
then men will always fall short. Why? Because men are more disagreeable. Men are more direct. Women, of course, if we're using that as the measurement of who's doing it the right way, who's getting the message across so that it's producing the most change. If we're using soft skills as like the most optimum way to get these messages across, then men will always be wrong because men aren't like women. Men will deliver a message a lot differently than women. And depending on which man is delivering
straightforward,
message,
blunt,
it varies
direct
in the degree of how direct that man is. And that may come across as harsh. So a lot of these chicks who say, oh, well, you just need to be softer. They want you to communicate like a woman. And they usually want the same type of thing in relationships. oh, be nicer, be kind of, don't say it like that. And that's because they don't understand that men aren't their girlfriends, their best friends, and are going to be men. And she actually touches on that later on in another video. That's my problem with this whole, oh, change your approach. Men aren't like that. It's just what it is, man. Now, this is not me saying that you should say things the most void of kindness and in the harsh way possible. No, I'm not saying that. Obviously, I think that kindness makes the message a little bit more tolerable, but sometimes it may not be so kind. And other public figures don't get trashed for having a more straight personality. And I'm talking about like the Simon Cowells and the Dave Ramsey's.
Very good point.
What's the one chef guy? The one British chef.
He's referring to Chef Ramsey.
I believe
he's referring to Chef Gordon Ramsay. That's what he's referring to.
Trying to see.
Yeah,
wow, same guys.
Yeah.
Dave Ramsey and Gordon Ramsay have the same last name. But the difference is they're not going against the agenda that's being tried to push, which is feminism in the dating market. Let's keep this.
Good point. In that you have men like Simon Cowell and Chef Gordon Ramsay who are abrasive in the kitchen, abrasive on a talent show, and they earn millions, if not near billions, by doing so. But at the end of the day, they aren't, well, they're insulting men and women. Everybody's getting treated with the same brush. If women are called to point, or women are called to bear, again, they have a problem with it because you didn't say it in the right way. Guys, 1 + 1 is the same as 1 + fucking 1. It's 2. Communication with a man and a woman sometimes has to be brought to a level where a man has to assert his masculinity in terms of getting things done. Get in the car. Step away from the vehicle. Separate yourselves. Get out of a point of danger. All these things need to be said abruptly or else they don't get done. You can't say, oh, please, please, pretty please. Could you just step away from the car? Oh, please, please, pretty please. Can you please, can you please, you know, please, please, pretty please. That's a good point. When done in, let's take it this way, sexual parameters, would you rather, and I'm asking ladies, would you rather a man to be, oh, please, please, pretty please, get into this position, oh, please, please, pretty please, do this for me, or would you rather a man say, turn over, get into the side of the bed, get yourself over here, let's get this done? I'm sure you would rather the latter than you do the former, because the latter is going to get your spirits high and it's going to show that things are going to get done. If you go in a soft, wimpy voice, someone would, take a slight to that. There it is. So, I need not read the comment from, from one of the providers. I'll leave her name nameless. But again, she agrees. She agrees. When a man becomes gruff and abrupt, things get done. Tend to. Because people's senses are alert to what's been brought to them. And they usually get things done. So ladies, it's not a slight on you. We are not meaning to hurt you. We just want to get things done. And sometimes it takes a bit more an abrasive outlook to get things done. So let's move on. So please, when you say tone, we are men. Men have a way of dealing with things, and if we didn't, we'd be called women. And what would you rather be with? A man or a woman? And I know what most of you would say. Shout out to the Alphabet Gang. Let's continue. We're going to move forward in this conversation just a little bit. because we are running out of time here. So we're going to get things done here. We may have to have a part 2 going forward because time is running short and it's running thin. So let's get into a part 2 of this problem. Now, we've advanced things. That is Rebecca Lynn Pope just after Kevin Samuels had his average at best meteoric rise show with the lady in question from North Carolina. And we're moving forward a few years. Rebecca Lynn Pope has had time to reflect and be a dating coach to high-value women such as the average at best lady. Let's see if her views has changed to the point where she's starting to see where Kevin was coming from. It's taken a few years, but here we go.
Guys, I'm not saying we need men to be babied out here, but I am saying men need a voice and a platform where they can voice out when things are getting ridiculous, and things got ridiculous. And what we see now are people speaking out more than ever. So eventually, Rebecca Lynn Pope, from what I understand, and I have a video here to back it up, quit being a matchmaker. And she said this was because she was having a difficult time with modern women. And they're...
No, you don't say. You mean the same sort of hard time that Kevin Samuels had some years back with women? You mean she has a problem with them as well? Perish the thought.
Her delusional expectations. Now, I've heard her kind of say that the male space on YouTube ran with this way too hard and misconstrued her words. We're just going to listen to what she had to say here and see what you think of this video. Let's check it out.
I stopped matchmaking. And the reason I stopped matchmaking is because I literally was I can't handle female clients. I was a matchmaker that matched females. And I had a few male clients, but predominantly I was matching women.
So she says she stopped because she couldn't work with female clients. She couldn't deal with them. Let's keep listening.
And listen, it was such a valuable lesson for me, because what I learned is that the average woman doesn't really want just a good man. She doesn't want a husband. What she's really wanting are these standards or ideas that she has of what a man is supposed to be.
So there's...
Does that sound familiar? That modern women want a standard of man which may be unobtainable, to whom all women aspire to be? I wonder who said that already, and whose grave was danced on when he did.
She said it, guys. Remember when I said she's going to let you know that the majority of women, which are average, are lost and delusional? Here, she's serving coffee.
Drink the coffee. It'll make you feel better.
If what she says here she believes, then she's admitting that the average woman is delusional about their expectations and specifically the type of men that they qualify for. Again, the issue wasn't what was said, but more how things were said, which I don't think is much of an issue at all.
But this is nothing what men are. This is not realistic for who men are, how they think, what they value. It's just this preconceived, idea that women have of who men should be. But this is not reality, okay? So literally, the standards here that I see consistently in women that stay single, do not get married, and the difference between women and wives is understanding, one, that men are not women. He's not going to be your best friend like your best girlfriend. You can't talk to him like that. They don't talk like that. They don't talk that much. They're not so sensitive and girly the way we are as women. So if you're expecting a man to be all super sensitive and so considerate and just so everything like your girlfriends, You're barking up the wrong tree.
God damn it! You can't make this shit up!
It seems that Rebecca Lynn Pope has had a moment of clarity. Has had an epiphany. Has finally had the pebble drop and realized what modern women really are. And how men really communicate. It took her 3 years. She must have a degree or something. She must have gone to school for this. She must have gone to a therapist to find this out. Maybe a femininity coach. Maybe a matchmaker. Oh, she is a matchmaker, I'm sorry. So she finally, the penny finally drops. She finally understands that men communicate in a certain way, and if we didn't communicate in this way, we're not men. Number two, most modern women have unrealistic expectations of themselves and think they qualify for any man, including top-tier men, eliminating most men, the 80% men that they don't see, 80% of men that women don't see, and think that they're too good for them. Unrealistic expectations. Doesn't that remind you of someone? Is this a mea culpa on the part of Rebecca Lynn Pope? Finally coming to Jesus and realizing that everything that Kevin said was true? Surely not. Women are all powerful. They run the world, don't they? Let's continue this for a few more minutes, then I have to get out of here. We're going to have to do a part 2. Let this go.
Do I have to say it, guys? Do I have to say it? So she's obviously echoing what I just said about how men aren't as kind, soft when it comes to communicating as women. So you can't expect that to be the case, which then would lead me to ask, well, why was she so emotional? Well, she's a woman. Got to remember, she's a woman. That's not me. Yeah. It's just the truth. She's saying it herself. She was crying and stuff for the average or best chick earlier, but why was she so surprised that KS at that time was so upfront, cutthroat with the way he communicated when she understood that men don't communicate the same way that women do? I've had people tell me that they appreciate the way I communicate, but even if I'm not as straightforward and harsh as other content creators have been or may currently be, there's still millions of women out there who think I'm a horrible person, not based on what I say, but just
how I say it.
I say things.
Exactly. Most men are vilified for the fact of the way they say things. And we don't hurt you we are not offended by you by one bit. We are not here to hurt you, ladies. We are here to get our point across in a direct and straightforward fashion. And if it's a bit gruff, abrasive, we don't mean to do it, but as men, as we communicate, we're very gruff, we're very abrupt, we're very direct, we're very straightforward. So what we're going to do right now, we're going to end it tonight. Yes, on Instagram and on YouTube. We're going to cut it here. It's been an hour. We will have part 2 tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll have part 2 of the show. We're going to go and overextend, but I have to go say hello to my dad, wish him happy birthday, get him his whiskey that he wants. So thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live. Like, comment, subscribe by duntalk.com. We'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow. Bye. And to my people here on YouTube, thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live. Let me see if there's any commentary. Oh, we got 2 viewers already. My goodness. Yes, indeed. Who's talking? Yes, Elliot Talk Live. Yes, it's me. It is me. It is me. I am here. And I thank you very much, Live Motivators and Ears to the Streets. And yes, who are speaking there? Rebecca Lynn Pope, Chisa Zed, and the great Kevin Samuels himself in his Average and Best video. So thank you very much for joining me on Talk Live. We're just going to reduce this. And we're going to go back to our live screen. Oh, Snoop. Okay, fair enough. We're going to get back to our live screen. in our full cam, and we are going to head out for today. But we'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll have part 2. We'll do more of Rebecca Lynn Pope because she has more to say on this subject. And we have another special guest who I'm not going to reveal right now, but she was recently called out for her her criticism of Kevin Samuels and the fact that she finally put 2 and 2 together and realized that he was right all along. So we'll talk to you tomorrow night. Talk Live. Thank you very much for joining me. Thank you for everyone being here, and we'll be back tomorrow night. And if you talk, walk the walk, sponsored by Duntalk, DUNTALK.com. We're getting out there, people, and look forward to seeing you soon. All right? Talk soon, and I'll see you later. If not Friday, Saturday.